Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. As always, I'm Koby. We got Crush'em with me, and we are live on YouTube
Hey,
and Twitch for the first time.
we love to see it, man. We love to see it. We are live. Before we get there, we had a Week 11 game on Thursday. Jets at Patriots had those nice unis on.
Mhm.
Patriots look really good again in this game, 27-14. Improved to 9-2 on the season.
Mm.
Henderson, 2 big games in a row. He's looking really good. And Drake May is he's having a great season. He's showing that he should have been considered as maybe that top QB last in that draft. So how did you see this game?
Um, well, after watching how bad the Jets offense is against us, and they need like special teams and everything to win games, I knew this would probably just be a Patriots fest, and
Hmm.
it was. I mean, one touchdown from May, but very accurate, 25 of 34, and yeah, Travion Henderson is these last couple weeks has just been popping off. 2 touchdowns last week, three this week. Stephon Diggs is looking like Stephon Diggs a little bit. And in a game they didn't really need much from Drake May. I think that's a positive moving forward. If this would have been a high scoring game and they needed
Hmm.
Drake May to step up and make plays, throw for 3, 4 touchdowns. I think he probably could have and would have.
Yep.
But yeah, the Patriots are. We were talking about like the Bills being like the favorites in this division, but I don't know if the Bills will honestly catch the Patriots at this rate.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I mean, Patriots won 8 in a row, and you see who their next opponent is. So, I mean, are we talking 9 games in a row for the Patriots? I mean, who would have thought that, potentially the Patriots would be at this point in the season, potentially being 10-2. So, I mean, definitely that Cinderella team, that team that we did not expect to be this good, this fast. And they're going to be scary to play in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gillette Stadium, that is not a easy place to play when it gets cold. Um,
It seems like we could be getting some Colts versus Patriots, some like Peyton versus Tom Brady type feels again. Like, yeah, these are
yeah.
I think right like right when we started talking about this season, like we didn't want to see the Chiefs, we didn't want to see the Eagles, we wanted to see some. I mean, maybe not like necessarily new, but just
Hmm.
somebody different up there. And with the Patriots, the Colts, the Rams, the Seahawks, all these like I like how these playoffs are shaping up right now.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and what we have been waiting for all episode, definitely what I've been waiting for, because I was down 2 games going into this last week, and I somehow found my way to tie up the record this season. We are both now 82-56 on the season with our game picks. Um, I think the game that most surprised me was that Bills and Dolphins. We both,
Oh, yeah.
of course, thought the Bills was going to win that game, and we definitely,
I mean, we literally scoffed at it. All I said was
right,
Bills, like
barely said anything about that
nothing.
game. Yeah, I think you just said Bills, and that's it.
Bills. That was it.
Yeah. So.
But I would like to say right now, anybody that's watching this live and you're new here, the whole point of these picks is we've made a nice gentleman's bet for a bottle of liquor.
Hmm.
We are adults, so I I have had a pretty not comfortable, but a nice steady lead over
For
the
almost the
last
entire season.
pretty much the whole season. But like the last
Hmm.
couple of weeks, it's been about 4-3-2 games right around there.
Hmm.
I slipped up a little bit this last week, going 7-6. Mike had a solid showing this week, so
Hmm.
but this is where I want to be. I need my back against the wall. We're
Hmm.
coming out with these week 11 picks, and I always say I'm going to run the table. I'm not going to run the table. But we're gonna have a good showing this week. I can feel it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I'm going to continue this this little good streak I'm on, going 9-4 last week. But let's get into it. Week 11. All right, we just spoke about the Jets game. Now we could talk about my sad, hopeless, injured Commanders team. Playing in Madrid this week against the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins being favored by 2.5. If you would have asked me this 4 to 5 weeks ago, I would easily say the Commanders in this game.
No.
However, we're going through a lot right now. We're going through injuries. We're going through cross-eyed defensive coordinators, getting his job snatched. We're going through the head coach taking over the defensive play calling duties. Starting QB is hurt. So even though I am a homer usually every week, and the Dolphins are coming off of a sneaky great win against the Bills that nobody thought the day was going to win. With all that being said, I know I usually pick the Commanders, but
oh man,
I'm still going to go with the Commanders.
There it is.
They have to win this game. I know it's crazy. I know our defense is not good. I know it's Swiss cheese. However, if we're going to win another game this season, it has to be against a team like the Dolphins that have their struggles. And it has to be away from the United States, because apparently we can't win at home and we can't win on the road. So now we're in Madrid. Hopefully we can get a win. I am picking my Commanders to get a upset win this week.
Yeah. I have to keep hating on this Commanders defense. I am going with the Miami Dolphins this week. You talked about the Swiss cheese defense. I think they're going to be waddling around out there. But the running back, Devin A-Chain, I think is going to have a big game this week for Miami. And as long as Miami's not bad when they limit their turnovers. And I don't see the Commanders really forcing too many in this game. I could see maybe one, but no. I like the Miami Dolphins in Madrid.
All righty. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals facing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers being favored by 5.5 at home. Joe Burrow got cleared to play in this game?
I know
he. If not, I know he returned to practice this week.
I think he returned to practice. I don't think he's playing.
Okay, since he is not playing,
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
I'm going to lean on him not playing because that's. I mean, I don't know if they're going to rush him back with the first week of him practicing. I didn't check on that, but Steelers need a win. I mean, like, this is kind of similar to the Chargers team. They're kind of good one week, bad the next. They played tough against the Colts a couple weeks ago. Then they had a letdown game against the Chargers. Now facing the Bengals team that has a lot of injuries and have looked horrible this season. They really need this win, a divisional game at home. Don't see them losing this game. I am going with the Steelers to get a win.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow is out. He was never expected to play this week. His target is Thanksgiving. So he's not even taking up a roster spot right now, being on the IR. So I too, I made my pick already with expecting Joe Flacco to play. We're having old man quarterback battle part 2 with Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers facing off again. And I think this is going to be a good spot for a good bounce back spot for Pittsburgh. You mentioned the Chargers are getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers last week. Trey Hendrickson is out again this week for the Bengals. And that's really the only bright spot they have on the defensive side of the ball. But
I know what we're thinking about.
I don't know. It should be a fairly easy win for Pittsburgh at home.
Yeah. Next we have the LA Chargers facing the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville, but the Chargers are being favored on the road by 2.5. This one, I mean, early on in the season, I felt like Jacksonville was going to surprise us and kind of show some type of improvement. They did so early on, but lately they, kind of reverted back to that old Jaguars team. And the Chargers, again, like we said, 1 week they're on, 1 week they're off. I do think that this game will be close because of the travel for the Chargers having to go to the East Coast. But with that being said, they played really well against the Steelers last week. That pass rush looked really good. Herbert looked good. I don't think that the Jaguars will be able to contain that offense for too long. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. I know Hunter is going to be probably out for the rest of the season. So I'm going to go with the Chargers this week to get a win on the road.
Yeah, this was kind of tough. I picked the Chargers, they lose. I pick against the Chargers, they win. You mentioned Travis Hunter being out for probably the rest of the year. They did add Jacoby Myers. I think he was kind of quiet last week in his first game. So another full week of practice with Jacksonville this week. I think Brian Thomas is questionable as well, but the Chargers looked good on every aspect of the game last week. I think they're going to carry that momentum into Jacksonville and get the win.
All righty. And next we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Huge game facing the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. This can't be right. I mean, Bucks being favored on the road by 5.5.
I just saw that, and I'm pulling it up because that looks crazy right now.
Yeah, fact check me really quick, but this one is going to be a good game.
It's Buffalo 5.5.
Okay, I'm about to say. So yeah, Buffalo being favored at home. But even with that being said, Bucks, we expected them to get that win last week against the Patriots, but they showed that they probably was just a few injuries too much to get that win. Buffalo, they're looking for blood this week. I mean, having an embarrassing loss against the Dolphins last week, I can't see that they're dropping this game against the Bucks. That'll be just crazy. But I think that they will get back to their form and get a win. Again, coming off that bad loss against the Dolphins last week, they can't drop 2 in a row. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still dealing with a lot of injuries. So going with the Bills this week.
Yeah, we've talked about this team will go as far as about as far as Josh Allen can carry him. He has been turning the ball over a little bit these last couple games, but I would hate to be whoever was playing Buffalo this week playing against a pissed off Josh Allen, pissed off, just a Bills organization in Buffalo. Yeah, that's why I was like, why is Tampa Bay favored 5.5?
Right.
But I like Buffalo this week too. I don't think that Buffalo is built to lose back-to-back weeks.
Nah, not at all.
But I don't know. We talked about Tampa Bay, trying to be in those close games, but I think Buffalo is going to be too much.
Yep, totally agree. And next we have the Chicago Bears facing the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Vikings being favored by 2.5. How do you see this one?
So it seems like Ben Johnson is starting to get in his bag a little bit. Bears offense is starting to get comfortable. They're throwing touchdown passes to Caleb Williams, and the Vikings, like you mentioned earlier, it's pretty much JJ's rookie year. I don't know what to expect from this team. They are good defensively, but the Bears have been pretty solid defensively too. I think Chicago can get a win on the road against the Vikings this week.
All right. So, even up until now, I was still trying to think about what I was going to do in this one. But I keep going back to that Monday night game early in the season when the Bears were up late into that game, but then they allowed the Vikings to come back. And JJ looked really good in that game, and the Vikings came back to win. Vikings have been they had some tough games recently. I know they lost against the Ravens, and the Bears have been looking good. But Bears, I believe they had one of the worst defenses in the league, bottom 2 or 3 in the league. I think that the Vikings at home will find a way to win a close divisional game. Hopefully, if they can get that running game going, don't rely on JJ as much as they have been recently. I think that the Vikings will get a win. So I'm going with Minnesota to get a win this week. Next, we have the Houston Texans on the road this week against the Tennessee Titans. Texans being favored by 5.5. No surprise in this one, but how do you see this one?
I thought the Texans were going to be in trouble once CJ Stroud went out with that concussion, but I mean they were down all game last week against Jacksonville, surged back and won this game. I actually don't think they're going to have a problem with the Tennessee Titans this week. Cam Ward, he's holding his own a little bit. He doesn't have a lot around him, being a number one overall pick, but he's looked solid. But the Texans defense, I think, is actually ranked pretty high. I could be wrong, but I think they have a pretty solid defense. I could see them maybe forcing a couple turnovers, but yeah, I like the Texans this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go similar to what you did last week and just say Texans. Don't see Titans putting up much of a fight this week. Mills looked really good late in that game last week. I think he can continue that this week, giving Stroud another week off to get healthy. So yeah, definitely going with the Texans to get a win on the road. And next we have the Carolina Panthers facing Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Falcons being favored by 3.5. I think this game is going to be closer than what people may think. I know Panthers are kind of strangely sneaky. You don't know if they're going to play well. They won against Green Bay, and they'll have a ugly loss. But this is a divisional game. I do believe that this game will be close. But with all that being said, I know the Falcons, they have to get back on track. They have to lean on that running game this week. They had a tough game last week against the Colts. But I believe at home they can find a way to win, especially if they lean on Bijan. I'm going to go with the Falcons to get this win.
Yeah, the Falcons have been – actually, both teams have kind of been all over the place this year, but Atlanta came out early this year with Michael Penix and, relying on Bijan, and he's just, like you mentioned, not been around, but this has to be a bounce back week for them. The Falcons being 3-6, and the Panthers are 5-5. I actually thought those records would probably be flipped, but yeah, Atlanta at home. Panthers lost to the Saints last week. Falcons lost that tough game against the Colts. I too like the Falcons.
Next, this should be quick. We have Green Bay facing the Giants. Green Bay being favored by 7.5 on the road. This game, I think this game will be decided pretty early. Giants are dealing with a lot of injuries, starting QB and running back, and other positions are out. Green Bay is looking to get back on track. I will hate to face them after that loss last week against the Eagles. Defense, I believe, will be rolling. Offense will want to get into a rhythm and get back on track. So I'm going with Green Bay in this one to get a dub.
Yeah, Green Bay. But also, I am very much looking forward to
your guy.
A pre-game and post-game press conference from my from my boy, Jameis Winston. Nobody
But
pumps life into me more than Jameis Winston and lets
he be
me
biting
down more.
knees.
Yeah, I'm telling you what. His short time here in Cleveland, he was Hollywood. He was cinema. He just couldn't win football games. So he's going to do everything pregame. He's going to be licking his fingers. He's going to be clapping. He's going to be singing and praising, and they're going to lose this game by probably at least 14. But I am excited to see Jameis back out there, man. I am ready.
Yeah, it should be a comical game for the Giants team. But next, I mean, we have a big game. Seahawks at LA Rams. Rams being favored by 3.5 at home. This one, I mean, we'll definitely get into it a little later too, but we have two teams that are very similar in record and everything. They're two good offenses, but also the defense is showing up as well. I think this game is going to come down to whatever team makes the least amount of turnovers and mistakes. Whoever doesn't, have those costly penalties, late turnovers, I think will get the win. But it's hard to really go against the Rams right now. I know the Seahawks have been playing well. They beat up on my Commanders a couple weeks ago, and they won last week as well. But the Rams, man, that offense, if they could just get a little pass rush going, their secondary is playing well. Emmanuel Forbes, who would have known that this man could catch the daggone ball, get these interceptions? I think he had 3 interceptions in the last 2 weeks. When he was with us, he did absolutely nothing. But I'm going to go with the Rams to get a win this week.
See, you said it's hard to pick against the Rams right now. Not for me. I am riding with Seattle. Yeah, but I do agree. Whoever can come out of this game with the fewer mistakes, I think, is probably going to win this game. But Seattle's defense, they had they have 2 defensive touchdowns last week, getting after it on special teams, defense, offense. This team is rolling right now, but the Rams are rolling right now too. This was actually a tough call, and I was hoping you would pick the Rams, just so we could have a difference here. But I will definitely be tuning into this game. I'm gonna take a nap right after Jameis makes his speech. I'm gonna wake up and turn this game on and watch some good football.
Yeah, definitely splitting hairs with these two teams. 2 great teams, so that will be a fun one. In this next game, I'm just say Niners, but 49ers are playing the Cardinals this week in Arizona. 49ers being favored by 2.5. What do you see in this game?
This was actually a little bit tougher of a decision than I originally thought. I think Brock Purdy is making his return this week, which I know that was your guy at the beginning of the year, but Mac Jones hasn't looked bad, and I think it's kind of tough to bring in a guy right now while you're trying to make a playoff push that's been out 5-6 weeks. So, but I do think. Who did I pick? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think it will matter.
No, change your mind. Go ahead.
No. The Cardinals have looked better.
Yeah,
bringing
with
Jacoby Brissett. But I don't know. The 49ers, they've been battling injuries all year. Purdy's back. Christian McCaffrey is looking like Christian McCaffrey, and I don't think they'll have too much of a trouble with Arizona's defense.
Yeah, I agree. It will be closer than so that 2.5 is about right. But I think if they can lean on Christian in this game and not put too much on Purdy in his first game back, and try to slowly work him in, they'll be all right. If they try to lean on him and, maybe he'll throw some turnovers, it may be a lot closer. So we'll see. But I'm definitely going with the Niners as well. And next, I'm gonna let you lead with this one, man. Baltimore Ravens at your Cleveland Browns. Ravens are being favored by 7.5 in Cleveland. I know you love your team, man. What you got, man? Just go ahead and pick them.
Listen, this team is an absolute disgrace. I hate them. I will never pick them to win a game the rest of the season. I'm going to call all the sports books. I'm going to call Vegas to move that line to Ravens minus 13.5. There's the defense is solid. It's been solid all year. They've kept us in games. They've even won us a game against Green Bay. But this lack of offensive presence is, for the first time this year, I turned the game off. I saw 2 special teams touchdowns, and I said, I'm not watching this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really hard to say anything good about this offense right now. Like I said earlier, offensive coordinator is calling the plays now, but he's calling the plays out of Stefanski's playbook. Like it's still check down,
a lot of screens.
I don't. Ravens.
Last time I went opposite of you in last week when you picked your Browns. So, but of course this week I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one. But I mean, what is surprising to me that we kind of touched on earlier is that Stefanski still has a job and Shador is still on the bench. Mm-hmm. I mean, if those 2 things can probably change, I think that the Browns can. And also with 7 weeks left in the season, you need some time to find out what you had with Shador. Yeah. I know you don't want to kind of throw off Gabriel if for some reason they think that he's still that QB of the future. But I mean, you got to know what you have in Shador so you know what you're going to do in the draft coming up. So they need to do something.
Because right now we're sitting with, I think we have our pick, which is the 4th, and Jacksonville's is like the 19th right now. So we have 2 top 20 picks going into the draft. Like, you cannot draft. Like, if Shador never sees the field this year, fine.
It's hard.
Whatever. But you cannot draft a quarterback without throwing him out there.
Exactly. So, and that's why they have to, because they might have to draft a QB. So, I mean, you at least want 4+ games from Shador to see what he has. So, but we'll see. I mean, they're giving Gabriel a long leash, longer than what I expected. But maybe after this game, they can maybe make it.
This could be this last. Like, we had our high up guy. He was I forget what he was. Nobody liked him to begin with, but he's gone. So he left. So changes are starting to happen here. Stefanski gave up play calling. Our high ups are stepping down. So maybe this could be the last week for Stefanski. This could be the last week for Gabriel.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Next we have a big divisional game. Chiefs at Denver Broncos. Chiefs being favored on the road. Fact check me on that one, because this is 2 good teams again.
No, that's right.
Okay. Chiefs being favored on the road by 3.5. I believe the Broncos won 6-7 in a row. So let me get your thoughts on this game before I go in.
Yeah, the Broncos have won 7 in a row, but I saw a list of teams they've beat. Every team that they've beat pretty much has had a starting quarterback out, multiple players on offense or defense out. And I mean, the Broncos are a good team. They have a great defense. Bo Nix is, making some leaps. They're running the ball a little bit with RJ Harvey, but the Chiefs are starting to chief. Like we said earlier in the year, these aren't, the Chiefs aren't chiefing right now. They were looking rough, but the Chiefs are chiefing again. I like the Chiefs going into the Mile High Stadium and shutting down the Denver Broncos.
Hey, man. I think the Chiefs are going to be chafing this week at the Mile High. I mean, Broncos are rolling. Yes, they've been playing some teams that had some issues with some players out of things like that. I know they had that close game against the Giants that they almost lost at the end, but they good teams find a way to win. Chiefs are starting to roll, but Denver is a tough place to play. If they can get that defense going, I know they're going to be up for this game. If Bolden Nitz can stay out of trouble and committing turnovers, putting pressure on Mahomes, I think will be key. If they could get pressure directly in his face and allow him not to escape out the pocket, I think they can get some success, have some success, and because that's where a lot of Mahomes kind of plays come from, is those last minute scrambles out of the pocket and him finding somebody. So I'm going to go with Denver to try to get a win this week. It will be a close game. But I think the Denver Broncos will continue to roll. I'm taking the Broncos.
Okay. We're starting to get some differences here.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have our Sunday night game, Detroit Lions at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles being favored by only 2.5. Two great NFC teams facing off. Detroit Lions seems like their offense has really found itself. Defense, on the other hand, I don't know. Still have a lot of injuries on that side of the ball. Eagles are still going through a lot. It's a weird season for the Eagles. Like we said earlier, a quiet 7-2. AJ Brown is still having his issues, making comments online and saying he's not going to apologize for it. Just a weird kind of dynamic overall. Who knows with all of those issues in the locker room, how far that team will go. But the Eagles are a tough team to play in Philly, man. Whew, this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one.
I mean, it wasn't a super easy decision for me, but I did come up with like
this. Yeah, this is a tough one for sure. But I'm going to go with Detroit to win on the road. If they can contain Saquon, Saquon has not looked great this season. When teams have found success against the Eagles, they was able to contain Saquon a little bit, keep him under 100 yards. If they can do that, I think that the Detroit Lions offense will be too much to handle. They've been putting up 30 and 40 points, even though it was against some lackluster defenses. Detroit is a hard, tough offense to really keep down for too long. So I'm going to go with Detroit on the road.
Yeah, we talked about how we're seeing two NFC powerhouses with the Seahawks and the Rams, but this is another game. Eagles, Lions, two other teams right up there in the mix with them. But yeah, you mentioned how this Detroit offense is rolling right now. Goff can spread it around to everybody on the field. Gibbs seems to be able to go for 200 total yards every single week, 2-3 touchdowns. And I feel like we've been saying this all week, like all year. The Eagles are just winning games. They are not jumping off the paper at you. And I think in a matchup like this where Detroit can turn it up, score 30, score 40, the Eagles are going to have to find that next level, but I don't think they're going to. I like Detroit as well this week.
Yep. Thought I was going to get you with that one. How you picked
I thought you were going Eagles. So.
And finally, we have the Monday night game, Cowboys at the Las Vegas Raiders. Cowboys being favored on the road by 3.5. Cowboys coming off of a bye, offense playing really well. Probably still have a top 3 offense. defense struggle at times, especially in the secondary, which is surprising because we thought coming into the season that D line was going to struggle the most and generating the pressure. But Cowboys, with them coming off of a bye, I think that if they can stop that rushing attack from the Raiders, keep Genty in check, they can have some success. I know that last game that the Raiders played against the Broncos on Thursday night, Bowers only had maybe one catch for like 30 yards.
One catch for 21 yards.
Yeah, offense couldn't get anything going. Genty didn't look good. So the Cowboys can kind of duplicate that. I think they're going to run away with this game. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys to get a win on the road.
Yeah, Dallas's defense obviously is not good, but their offense is very good. Dak is having an exceptional season, getting the ball to Pickens, getting the ball to CD. Javonte Williams has been running the ball well. He's scored a bunch of touchdowns this year. And obviously, Dallas traded away Micah Parsons, but they got Kenny Clark back in that deal. They added Quinnen Williams at the deadline. So I think the D-line you talked about shutting down Genty in the running game. I think with those two guys up front, and the Raiders just have been an abysmal team pretty much all year.
Almost all my life. I mean, you got to go back to the early 2000s before like the Raiders was really.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is. I think a 3.5 spread for Dallas there is pretty favorable because even if this game would turn into a shootout, I don't think the Raiders offense has, as near as many weapons as Dallas does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree. And we have the two teams on bye, Saints and Colts. But yeah, man, there you have it, man. It's definitely some tough, close, big games this week to look forward to. And we'll see, man. We're
I gotta get my lead back. Got to get my lead back
right now. We definitely had some games where we went opposite directions. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
But I think we're just gonna have a good, solid week of football. Maybe not for our home teams, but
right. Unless my Commanders can shock me, in Spain this week, we'll definitely see. But I'm hoping to kind of get a little lead finally. And I don't think I ever led in the overall pick. No. So hopefully I can at least see a lead before the season is over. And yeah, definitely some big games this week that we can tune into. And I think that is going to do it for this episode. Our first live episode where we kind of combine both of our weekly episodes into one. I did like how this turned out. And let us know again if you agreed with our picks. And what you thought of those last week games as well. And do you think that my Commanders and Kobe's Browns have a chance this week? Who knows? Browns can surprise us, get a win. And Commanders can surprise us and get a win. Who knows? But we will see. But as always, thank you for joining us on this live episode. Hit that subscribe button so you know the next time we go live or we drop another episode. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about our picks. Do you agree, disagree? What about our top 5? Do you think that top 5 made sense, or do you think we should have shook it up a little bit? And as always, like the video as well and tune in next time. See you.
See you guys.